Tesla Cybertruck is now officially the auto industry's biggest flop in decades.
How can that be true?
A sales flop that missed the volume goal by a staggering 84% with no sign that things are improving. They won't even accept this thing anymore as a trade-in.
That's the greatest. They
won't even accept it.
Wait, Tesla won't? Or
Tesla won't accept their own
won't.
car as a trade-in and is instead suggesting that they file a lemon law.
You're kidding me.
No, it's
The
crazy.
dealership is suggesting that?
But so therein is the question. Is it the biggest flop in automotive history? Here we are. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. Old-fashioned show. Just Jonny Lieberman, Just Zuckerman, and just Spike Ferriston. And here we are. We're excited to do a show with you. It's a Saturday. You're not? I am. When are we going to be able to smoke cigars here? I would love to smoke a cigar in here one day.
Maybe I'll let you do it once.
Okay.
But
on our anniversary, we have an anniversary coming up.
Okay. Hey, well, you have to let Mark know in advance so he can have the deionizer always here because he's going to be very upset. So just give him warning.
Mark being the guy who cleans your car.
Yes.
He's going to be upset.
Yeah.
Word about Mark suddenly.
Yeah, maybe you put a little exhaust fan over at the door.
Oh, man. Well, all right. We'll do that. We got a big show for you guys today. I was really excited this week. I thought I'd start off with our new dealership announcement.
Oh,
Zucker.
yes, we do.
This is very exciting.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll let you announce it.
We have officially formed Morris Solomon's LLC.
That's right. If you'll recall, dear listener, Morris Solomon was the name of our fictional dealership, purveyor of fine automobiles.
That's correct.
We went so far as even to trying to figure out a logo, and it failed pretty quickly. It's a very long worded dealership name. Now, cut to when? 2 days ago?
Well, no.
You call up and you say, it's done. And I said, well, who is the salesman? Who's the dealer?
Okay, the president of the company is my son, Dell, and we will be his employees. And Lieberman, the greatest thing is the articles of incorporation were approved on April 1st.
So there you go. And it's not an April Fool's joke. This is a... So what happens? Is this the home base for the dealership?
Yes, and it'll be a wholesale. We have a wholesale license. My son will be the holder of the license.
Okay.
And we will be his employees.
And so here is the dealership. Behind us is the cars. That means now, do we get dealer plates?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
That we have
Wow.
dealer plates and we can acquire cars. And of course, we will not have to pay tax while we are in the process of marketing these cars. Now, as a wholesale dealer, we will have to work with a retail dealer to actually sell the cars when the time comes.
Wow. And give everyone a little backstory on the name.
Well, my father's middle name was Solomon, Harvey Solomon. A horrible name for an angry man. And I think it was your grandfather was Morris?
Morris Fernstein.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's how we put it together.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I have an uncle named Morris Solomon in Leicester, England. So, yeah.
Leicester.
Where does the purveyor of fine automobiles come from?
Well, we can just do a DBA. So it's Morris Solomon's LLC, and then we can have.
I love purveyor of fine automobiles.
Well, then
if you're gonna, what I love about it is if you're gonna put Morris and Solomon in the title of anything, you're already going in a direction. Adding purveyor of fine automobiles, making it too long. I was thinking we'd actually maybe throw it out to the listeners to see if they could come up with a working logo for this.
Oh, this would be fantastic.
It's really hard. And I remember spending a couple days really thinking about it, going and trying to wrap my head around the idea. And it kept going in the direction of too old timey, like with a Model T.
Yeah,
and that doesn't feel like us. It's a tough one. It's really a tough logo to crack.
There's something, Hebraic about it, obviously, Morris Solomon's. I added an S on the end.
Yeah, but we don't. But that's very...
Well, in 2025, that has some connotations.
But also, I think it's just limiting. I think it's limiting to have an...
Well, Hebrew National got away with it. What was it? We answered to a higher standard.
Morris Solomon definitely doesn't. If who's listening, this is a well-known tax.
We have a very high standard, a very, very high standard.
Yeah,
you will know.
Highest.
When we sort cars, when we get cars, they aren't necessarily sorted, but when they leave us, they're very sorted.
That's fair.
These will be some of
That's
the finest.
fair.
We are. That part is true. We will be purveyors of fine
automobiles. purveyors.
But we need an idea, an aesthetic. Yeah, so we're not Hebrew national.
We're not selling salami.
That's a good guideline.
More Solomon purveyors of fine automobiles. A division of Hebrew national.
No, we don't want to be that.
There's a Hebrew scholar with the Talmud out.
That's right.
Well, I'm excited about that.
That's right. You're on Pico basically. I mean, you go 2 miles that way. And
Think of what we can do, Zuckerman.
Think of what we can do.
Think of what we can do.
This can be our launch pad. Like Amazon selling books was a launch pad for world domination.
Yeah.
This can be our launch pad.
could be.
I just like the idea that there's a license plate that I can just attach to things and drive it, and I'm not going to get hassled.
That's the scam. That's the beauty
I mean,
part.
right now, I've done the same thing with the Zagato behind us. I have a nice eBay plate on that.
And maybe some of our listeners who are crafty can make us a license plate frame.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yes.
Oh.
That seems like the easiest part of this
Yes.
because it's just picking a font and maybe a color.
Oh, Morris Solomon, Magen David, purveyor of fine automobiles.
Yes.
But like
Magen David.
Yeah.
like the Volkswagen logo behind you guys, we need that initial sign, that idea, And we've seen this go wrong with many companies, many car sales places. I don't want to name them.
Go ahead.
One of them for fun. I love Paul, not you.
Kramer.
But, the Auto Kennel.
I've gotten used to it.
Great cars. Great guy. You can trust them. They're terrific. But when you first see it, you go, dog kennels.
Dog
It's a
pound.
Lamborghini
Dog kennel.
house. It's fine.
In the dog, right?
Yeah, and then when I think of kennels, I think of pee poo and all that smell of dog fear.
But we've said this to him before.
Yeah.
And we do love the Auto Kennel. But and like, here's another one. This isn't even,
You two are disgusting. Jesus.
it's morning and it's so, there's so much pollen in the air. There's so much pollen in the air. We need Claritin to sponsor the show, not BlueChew.
Yes.
That's what we need.
How about
But this-
Claritin packed with BlueChew?
Here's another one. Like,
Or the tube you breathe in with a little ball.
we forgot to, I left the door open there. You might want to lock it. Stop the flies from going in. Here's another bad one. Humphrey yogurt. Like, that was a frozen yogurt shop.
It was.
But the small
That's
mind
terrible.
that came up with it was like, like Humphrey Bogart, but Humphrey yogurt.
We can relaunch as
Yogurt?
Pumphrey yogurt.
Pumphrey
Humphrey
James
yogurt.
Pumphrey
Yeah,
yogurt.
yeah.
That might work.
Yogurt.
Anyway, come up with an idea for us so we don't have to do it. I know if you're like me, you're wondering, there are all these new taxes on Americans that are being called tariffs. And, I guess when I started thinking about, what is our show going to talk about? Porsche. Like, how does this affect Porsche prices? Why don't we start there? And while I was working on it, someone leaked me. Here, put up this document here. This is a document that Porsche sent out to its dealers. And it pretty much at least answers most of my questions. What should we communicate to customers who are concerned about price increases? You may use the following statement for customer inquiries. Porsche is carefully reviewing the recent auto tariff executive order, and it goes on, blah, blah, blah. You can read the rest yourself.
Just what a customer wants.
Yes. How will these tariffs impact the pricing of Porsche vehicles? We are currently evaluating all options to manage the impact of tariffs and the rest of it. Here's what I found out. Porsche has halted the shipping of any cars that are subject to tariff and taxes. They're not being shipped right now. It does appear as though they are imminent. New cars on the lot or already checked in at one of the ports are tax or tariff free. Remember,
right.
The tariff is just a fancy word for how do we tax everyday Americans or Americans who want to buy Porsches. So, and then I read that maybe because Volkswagen has plants in the United States, that Porsche might be able to piggyback off that.
Correct.
And not have these tariffs.
But how does that work? Because the 911s and everything except for
Keep that back up, please.
whatever. I mean, they're not building any Porsches in the U.S. right now, but they are building the I can't remember what it's called, the Atlas SUV and the ID4 built in Tennessee, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Every other Porsche is built in Leipzig or in
Right.
Stuttgart. Who knows?
It's very confusing
Chaos,
because you get
chaos.
into then, is final assembly in the U.S. a way to get out of tariff? Because look at we have this all of the parts being made in all different countries.
Yeah.
So who knows how that
so
works?
Mercedes used to do that to get around the chicken tax, which is a 25% tariff that's been since the Johnson administration on pickup trucks, not made in the U.S. With the Sprinter van, they would literally build them in the Hamburg plant. Why was the plant in Hamburg? Because it's close to the port. Because they drive the finished Sprinters out from the factory and then immediately into a disassembly building where they had to ship them in a specific way. Like you had to put like the seats and the engine in one box and the axles and the body.
God,
it was insane.
what a mess.
They go to Charleston, South Carolina, and they get reassembled there. And I'm like, this has to be more than 25%. And the guy goes, no, it's only 8%. It adds 8%. So you could do that. But like, here's my question. Like, do you want your ST reassembled in Chattanooga?
That's right.
Like, no offense to Chattanooga, but like there's a reason 911s are 911. They go to Weissach.
But it's clear. This document makes it really clear that they don't know what is.
They don't know
happening
anything.
here. They don't know what's happening. These are just
nobody knows
like
anything.
canned answers.
It's a boiler. It's called boilerplate, and it's a placeholder. It's words
yeah.
that say nothing and communicate nothing other than we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. And like, a friend of mine has a business wwhere he imports, like GTRs and stuff from Japan.
Right.
And I saw him the other night and I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, I think I'm about to have the worst week of my life. I go, why? He goes, I'm about to cut a check for $600,000 to the port to get my cars out of custom. He goes, but I called him. They don't know. This was the day the tariffs were announced. So
But they were already there?
They were already there. I text him the next day and I go, and he goes, they still don't know. No one has
Nobody
communicated
knows. Lots
anything.
of confusion.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, what does that mean? Does the
Means Morris Solomon's, which purveys cars that are more than 25
Yes.
years old. More than 25 years old.
That
We're
could
okay.
It could be, you don't know. I mean, yeah.
why? So because those are exempt?
Those are exempt from the tariffs.
Well, that's what I was
Are
going
you
to say.
positive?
It feels like the collector car market and the modern car market, everything's soft right now.
Yeah.
Is that just me, or I'm looking around at prices and I'm going, things don't look good, especially in vintage cars right now. But does this help them? Does it help vintage car values or existing cars in the country? Let's say we were going to sell our ST. Does this now make it more attractive?
Yes.
It does, except for the fact it really depends, though. Do people feel poor? Do they feel confident or not confident? So
Right.
when you buy a luxury car like an ST, it requires a certain amount of economic confidence. And if your portfolio of stocks and bonds, debentures has been wiped out, you may not feel...
Zuckerman, I know you run money for your firm. You're like the money guy. Just quickly, though, what was broke that we needed to fix here? Was anything broke? Because it seemed like things were working okay until this moment.
Perception was broken. Perception is broken. But that's what we've learned is that it's easy to tell people that everything's messed up, that we're under attack, that there's enemies all around us. So it's easy to create the perception that things need to be fixed. Did they need to be fixed? I thought the economy was pretty good. I thought I wasn't exactly happy.
Life seemed pretty good, right?
Well, if there was inflation. The cost of restaurants.
Okay.
That I found to be bothersome. But
Seems worse now.
it does.
Well.
It does. But generally speaking,
$20 eggs.
generally speaking, we've had uninterrupted prosperity since 1945.
Okay, here's some other Porsche information. I got to do an ad in a second, but that was leaked to me. That was kind of fun. There's a secret list at Porsche. A secret
Give
list
secret eyes, leave them in.
of customers
Are we on that list?
that we can get on, Zuckerman, that you and
Really?
I, Morris Solomon, Johnny, we can add you
Solomons.
in. Solomons.
Yeah,
Yeah, with an S.
I'll be the mop
But
guy.
now that we have an entity, we can do this. I wasn't going to do it, but now I'm going to do it. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about it. But every year at Porsche, they have some leftover race cars. Leftovers. And there's a secret list at Porsche, and they start calling the names on the list. They go, do you want one of these cup cars? Do you want one of these cars? Do you want one of these cars? There aren't many. This person said there are only 2 or 3 cars. Sometimes there's just one. However,
Yeah.
it seems like an opportunity.
It's like the
Yeah.
fridge at 3 a.m. Helmet goes to get some leftover pizza in Chinese
Should
and
I?
looks at the list.
And then there was an email sent to me. Would you like, if you're interested, you could send an email to this guy.
Yes.
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 Why, Johnny?
I'm just off the top of my head. I was at the National Auto Museum outside of Frankfurt in Germany, and it's the most amazing collection of cars in the world. And like one of the cars the guy has it's the only Audi that won Le Mans that Audi doesn't have. This guy got it. How'd he get it? Wow. And it was just this kind of thing where it was like Audi of Japan sponsored the car that season. The car wound up in Tokyo.
Yes.
And then Audi Germany said, okay, you guys ship it back. And Audi Japan said, screw you, you ship it back. And there was a fight and it got stuck there. And this guy swooped in and got it. And now Audi's offered him, millions and millions and millions for it.
No, but he's
and
not
it's
wrong.
part of his collection.
I mean, think of all the cars Jerry's bought and the cars we've seen other buyers, like the least raced car, never raced. Like it's a long-term hold, but a never raced cup car is kind of an interesting idea.
I have no objection to it. And it would be nice if they had some older stuff that would, I don't know if they have cups like, 997 4.0 stuff.
I have an idea, Zuckerman. I just got an idea. All right.
What?
Morris Solomon's?
Yes.
Purveyor of fine automobiles. We need investment behind us. We need a war chest of
cash.
Oh.
Wait, what do you think? 10 mil?
Easy.
10 mil
Per car.
No.
I want some money to spend.
I think
Slush fund.
Not a slush fund. No, these are all bad words. We don't want to use slush, fraud.
Economic growth fund.
Economic growth fund is good.
I think we don't want investment that's less than $50 million. It's too small for us.
And what we will do,
Yes.
we'll buy and sell cars and make money through our access to them.
And we will issue you with stocks, bonds, and debentures. Do you know what a debenture is?
No.
Neither do I.
I know what RaceDeck is. RaceDeck! Our friends at RaceDeck. Over 2 decades ago, RaceDeck. We should do a really dark version of RaceDeck. Over 2 decades ago, RaceDeck was invented. Cost-effective, durable, and truly do-it-yourself modular flooring system engineered for the garage. But no one had any idea that it was going to kill them. Wow, an MR2. Look at that.
But I like the MR2 on the BMW M.
Okay, that's the
floor.
Yeah, that's a pretty great floor right there. Oh my, Zuckerman, that seems like something you would absolutely love. I was at my RaceDeck floored hangar.
All decked out.
Picking up the Zagato behind us. And again, I was enjoying the floor. It's a weird thing to say, but I enjoyed walking the floor and I was moving chargers. And I'm like, the floor is solid here. And I can't tell you how much I love RaceDeck. Our friend Jorgen Mahler, who's a Porsche guy, came up with the idea. His wife was putting out dance floors in people's yards, and he said, why not do that for the car guys that I know? Now they have 170 employees, 150,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Salt Lake City, Utah. 20 styles to choose from, 33 patents in the product line. Go to racedeck.com, use code SPIKE911 for 15% off and free shipping. Get yourself that BMW floor right there.
Yeah.
That's slick. That's really nice. Boy, that whole setup is great.
You notice that with the lift. Yeah.
I'm looking at the
same
lift
thing.
Whose garage is this?
Yeah.
This, I mean, really,
This could be yours.
This is a killer. This is the new thing we do with the ads. We just
Throw them. Too bad
them at the
Rufus
camera
isn't
like-
here
yeah,
for
like
shredding.
Dave used to do. Remember Dave used to do that?
I do.
No
But
one does.
that is a beautiful. No, look at that. But look at the brake lights. Everything about this photo is so perfectly calibrated. Applause to whoever did it.
I'd actually want to drive that car.
Yeah, I know. And the ivory color of the white is so nice. Oh my gosh.
That's, was it like late 90s, third gen?
And
MR2?
it also is part of our rule, Zuckerman. Some wood visible somewhere in the photo. A little wood somewhere always helps.
I was not aware of this rule.
The wood rule.
The wood rule.
Touch wood.
Touch wood.
Touch your wood.
Morris Solomon wood.
Solomon's.
All right, here's some other stuff. Tesla Cybertruck is now officially the auto industry's biggest flop in decades. The biggest flop in decades.
How can that be true?
A sales flop that missed the billionaire's volume. I guess they're talking about Elon Musk.
Who?
Elon Gold is a comedian. Missed the volume goal by a staggering 84% with no sign that things are improving. Here are the other industry flops that it has beat, and then we can discuss. Stinkers like the Ford Edsel, the exploding Pinto, General Motors' unsightly Pontiac Aztek, made famous by Breaking Bad, even John DeLorean's sleek DMC-12. Those at least had comebacks, they're saying. But Elon Musk's pet project, the dumpster driving Tesla Cybertruck, now, this is Forbes, by the way, tops that list. 8 recalls in the past 13 months, the latest for body panels. And it's the focal point for global Tesla protests.
The last part was true.
But is it the worst?
No.
Yes.
Is it worse than the Yugo, the Trabant, the Marcos Mantis M70? Pull up the Marcos Mantis M70. Look at him drinking back there. Or even the Uavian Puma. Okay, Johnny, now's your time to talk.
The Uavian Puma is a bigger flop. The Fisker, both Fiskers are bigger flops.
Oh, that's a good point.
He sold 46,000. I mean, that's 4.5 years of Maserati sales. Like, it's not.
This is the Marcos Mantis.
Look
there
at
it
that
is.
lovely creature.
That's a bigger flop.
That's Mantis.
That kind of looks like a Ferrari GTC4. You remember that 72 I had?
Yes.
I don't know. I'd kind of like to try
the one with a few extra chromosomes. That's the difference.
But what they're saying is he missed his sales goal by a staggering 84%. Values have gone down, cut in half. They won't even accept this thing anymore as a trade-in.
That's the greatest.
They won't even accept it.
Wait, Tesla won't? Or
Tesla won't
won't.
accept their own car as a trade-in and is instead suggesting that they file a lemon law lawsuit.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No. It's
the
crazy.
dealership is suggesting that?
It's not a dealership. The sales hut or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, they won't take him as trade-in anymore.
But so therein is the question. Is it the biggest flop in automotive history? You still don't agree.
No.
Fisker.
No. I mean, like Edsel, it wasn't a Ford Edsel, it was an Edsel. Much bigger flop, and this is just one model. Edsel was an entire brand.
Right.
These are entire brands. It's again, like sales target, as we know, and again, I don't want to, sadly, this is now a political statement, but Elon just lies constantly about everything having to do with Tesla.
He does.
Right? Full self-driving by 2017. Give me $250,000 in 2017 for the Roadster, which is coming out any day.
Yeah.
8 years later. So his sales target, he made up with a microphone in front of him.
Yeah.
It's like me saying, Morris Solomons will be doing
$100 million in business.
We will, by the way.
By September.
We will. By September, be doing $100 million.
Please send in your subscription.
So it's a really clickable article by Forbes, but it's it's not the biggest flop. Tucker's a bigger flop. Like, there's much bigger flops. Fisker's
it's got a funnier story, right?
Flop.
North Korean guys infiltrate organization and take all their money. I love that part. That's my favorite part of the Fisker story.
Happening to the U.S. right now. Anyways, no, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's a big, I don't know, it's hard to call it a flop. He sold 46,000.
Well, they're 85% below their sales target is a big
What's
flop.
the sales target?
Okay, well, the sales target put forth by Elon Musk and Tesla.
But let me ask you a question, Johnny. How many do you think they should have sold? What have been
I've always said
success?
This should have been a concept car that they just an exercise in design, not a dumpster with wheels that you put in public.
I would just say this. It is outsold, I believe, since it went on sale. It's outsold the Ford Lightning, which is the electric Ford pickup, and the Rivian pickup truck. Not the Rivian SUV, but the Rivian pickup truck. And I think it's so it has sold more than its competition.
So you're saying
hard to
success?
Call it,
it has a bright future then.
It's hard to call it a success. I'm just saying it's not.
He's just saying it's not the worst.
And it's not the biggest flop in decades since Fisker flopped 4 months ago. Bigger, it's like way bigger.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up, and I have to give hats off to Matt Farah. He was there before I think a lot of us on Elon Musk and Tesla. Remember, he came on the show and he attacked left and right, and I defended this Elon Musk and this Tesla. Can't do that anymore.
They're still good cars. The cars are still pretty good,
Well, the hope is always that they kick this guy to the curb
Get a
and
new
the company
CEO.
and the company moves on because we do like a lot of the folks there, but right now, forget it. They are.
You're going to get a lot of hate, Ferriston.
Why?
You're going to get a lot. Well, there's those listeners that love Elon. They think he's the greatest, and
those are few and far between. And, I just do what Elon does. I just delete them. I delete and block them. He's taught me about free speech at Tesla, which is delete and block people. So I do that. So go ahead. Say
Free
whatever you
speech
want.
means leave me alone.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I only do what Elon has taught me
I want to be free of your speech. Delete.
There was another article that caught my attention. The wellness industry has come for your luxury car. Massage and meditation programs, as well as aromatherapy, are now being offered in high-end vehicles. But does anybody actually want them, Zuckerman?
I don't want that shit. I don't want smells coming out of my car.
Why?
Why? I like car smell. I just want my new car smell. I don't want any other smell in the car, and smells linger. They turn bad over time, and I don't want to be massaged. I don't want to be meditated. There's a time and a place for everything, and driving is not a time and a place for meditation or massage.
Whenever
you know where to get a massage.
Yes, I do. But I good car massages. I'll take that every time.
I agree with Johnny. I do like that part. But what creeps me out to no end is when Mercedes has that little jar of scent.
Yes.
And then it's on your screen. It's like, it always to me is like, I don't know, flying in an old airplane where they're trying to relax you. It never
duty free.
It never quite feels like a real spa experience, and my iPhone can probably do a better job with like the Calm app or something.
It's I think it's the Germanness of it. Like I think if like if we had French cars, like French perfume.
No,
it's German massage
seats made out of French lingerie seats.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Lincoln Nautilus in this,
nice
and its rejuvenation program, multisensory stress reduction initiative. They call it a dizzying array of elements. Listen to this.
Dizzying while you're driving.
Okay, this is what they have. We have a stereo. I don't know why that's
because that's new.
Cars have had stereos forever.
They write music for the wellness programs.
Okay. Yeah. They have 30-way adjustable seats. Look, I have enough time and trouble making up my mind. I don't want 30 choices for my fucking seats.
Is there a death choice?
Just give me up and down and forward and back. That's all I want, and I want to adjust the back a little bit. What?
The 30-way, one of the cool things Lincoln does, it has a split thigh bolster. So on long trips, you can elevate one leg or the other.
I don't have that problem.
Here's an idea.
Here's an idea
for Lincoln. An Abe Lincoln hat on every car. Lincoln. Now the Lincoln looks like Lincoln. That's what I would do.
What I want as part of the wellness program is the assisted suicide app. When it's time to go, you go to your Lincoln.
The car, this is how that would work.
Wow.
The car will pull into your garage and close the door.
Automatically.
Some jazz will come on.
Yes.
And then you'll just lean back and go to sleep.
And the lights will go down.
As
it pumps you full of death juice.
An air infiltration system, whatever. Multicolored door dash, footwell ambient lighting. I don't know who's using all this lighting in the cars, by the way. But I mean, Johnny, when you get a press car, I go into the driveway and I adjust everything for the first time, right? And when I get into the screens, it's always the lock. It's always set to unlock just the driver door, and then I do mirrors and I do any safety stuff, and then there's this the light, the multicolored lights, and I play with a little. I can make them green, and what color matches best, and then it's like, what am I doing? Who's enjoying these stupid lights?
My son Richard loves to set the lights. Yeah,
Richard. He's how old? 6?
He's 8. But that's a Detroit thing with the only because
it's not. Porsche does it too.
Well, but it's based on like you're fleeing an attacker, and if you unlock all the doors, the attacker will jump in the car with you
and kill you.
Like I remember years ago, you like remote start, start a car, and so I was annoyed because I'd never used it before, but when I was first getting in the business, and I'm like, when you get in, you have to turn the car off and then start it again.
Really?
What's the point of a remote start? And everyone from Detroit was like, oh no, if someone hears a car running, they'll just steal it. you gotta turn it off again. And I'm just like,
so dumb.
Oh my God.
Here's a story for you, Johnny. Extra hardcore 2026 Toyota GR Corolla adds torque and ditches rear seats. Wow. What am I looking at here, Johnny? What is this?
It looks like
it's a development vehicle. It says long-rumored GRMN version. Is this something they're going to make? Is this something you're excited about?
Well, so in 23, they had the Marizo, which was a 4-door, 2-seat product,
right?
Which I love. And it had a little bit more torque. It had 295 pound-feet versus my car came with 273. And then for 2025, they basically took the Marizo tune and put it on all Corollas. So now they all have 295 pound-feet. So this is probably like a torqued up version. And, they'll probably remove the rear seat, probably put in some some back bracing and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, hell yeah.
Hey, wait, here's a better story. Click on that purple headline right there, trending.
Edition.
Wait, what's this?
Chorizo.
Just open this up. Speeding on Mountain Road.
Yeah.
Here's a way better story. Story County Sheriff Office in Nevada took the driver into custody, citing suspicion of driving under the influence, possessing a firearm while intoxicated. So it's a purple GT3 RS in the woods. Go down. Let's read the story. This guy won this car and then crashed it? Wait, right. Some car giveaways are shady, no doubt, but others help gearheads get their dream rides that they'd never be able to own otherwise. The apparel company Tuner Cult gifted more than a few of those, including this 2016 GT3 RS on a Nevada man won, not a Florida man, a Nevada man last September, along with $50,000 cash, no doubt, to cover the taxes. It looks like that purple P car met its tragic end last week as Story County Sheriff Office posted pictures of it in a ditch on a mountain road. And the guy had a gun? Where's that? Where does it say he had a gun? Oh, look at this. So he was honing it up with beautiful roads, though. Wow, that's nice.
Nevada's got some killer roads.
That's really nice.
Well done, sir.
Wait,
I applaud him.
Go down. Let's see the crash here. Oh,
yep.
He was drunk. He had a gun, and he said, "Let's go driving the GT3 RS."
America. There were some powders in there too.
America.
That's so nice.
Well done, sir.
Yep. He was probably right before he crashed. He probably was enjoying himself.
He's having a great time.
Do you think he? Yeah, he was rooting, tooting it out the window, like woohoo! That's my kind of fun. I did that when I first moved to California.
Got a gun?
You got drunk high and shotguns?
I had a couple of beers and I got on my XR motorcycle. I went out to the desert with my gun and I went, woohoo, I'm free. And I went riding and shooting into the air. Yeah.
And you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't drunk. But I thought, this is what you can do in California. I'm going to go do it.
But you notice he was backwards in the ditch. So that would indicate a little oversteer moment.
Yeah, he spun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, hey, good for him.
Good.
Now he's got a story.
No upkeep. No maintenance. It's all taken care of.
Great prison story.
Well, I have some advice for him. He could use some therapy. And I know therapy feels like a big investment, like a purple GT3, but the state of your mind, sir, is just as important as your physical health. And BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and BetterHelp wants to help you, sir. Do you find yourself driving through mountain roads with a gun, drunk, and shooting in Texas?
While drunk in Nevada.
Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up fast. Mine's way more.
California? Where's that?
What a bargain.
Yeah. Is there a tariff on therapy? Because my therapy's... BetterHelp Online, you can save on average up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you can pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, save you big on your cost and time. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. With over 30,000 super hot therapists.
Look at them all down there.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Therapist. BetterHelp is world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. We should get in on this. Maybe we could be therapists. Do we need to be licensed, Zuckerman? I mean, maybe they could have us on BetterHelp.
We just give advice. We're going to give advice
I think
today.
you would be great at that. I'm not sure I would, but I think you would. I think you'd be great. Zuckerman, look at there's the face. That's the actual face. The Zuckerman
More
face.
Solomon's purveyor of mental health.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Do that.
This is your last chance to get BetterHelp to help you because they'll be leaving after this. BetterHelp.com/Spike911 today. Just go to BetterHelp.com/Spike911 today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. And just in case you don't know how to spell it, it's HELP, they say to say.com/Spike911. And that's BetterHelp right there, right here. Watch. Here we go. Right at the camera. Oh, missed on that one.
Is there another phone number if you can't spell help? Call this one, sir.
Why don't we test to see how good of a therapist Zuckerman would be? I have some Dear Zuckerman letters, and I have a new logo right here. What?
You'll be fine.
Wow, look at how svelte and kind of Steve McQueen you look there, Zuckerman.
I look very sympathetic. I really have shrink eyes there with those sad, caring eyes.
Well, if you'll recall, last time I put your head on the dress and made you look like Dear Abby, and I felt like you were really insulted by that.
No,
like, you weren't really upset.
No, I just I'm on. Why do I got to be a lady?
Kind of like actually upset at me for doing
I thought it was hysterical.
So I wanted to do something a little more you. This came out kind of weird, but that's you dispensing advice and your client crying. I don't know if it's because of the advice,
lady.
Well, it looks like I just
or did she start the session crying?
No, I think she's leaving the session crying.
Listen, lady.
Listen, lady.
All right, well, here we go. Here you are. These are real Dear Abby letters, except we're going to ask Zuckerman. That sound right? You ready?
Yeah.
You can give your advice. I have a few of them. We'll take our time with them. Dear Zuckerman, I lost my wife 14 years ago. Why is that funny?
I started laughing.
Where is she? Have you found her yet?
And I have since remarried and moved to another state. But my first wife's gravesite is in the small town where we used to live. My question concerns my final resting place. Do I request burial with the mother of my children, or at a place of my current wife's choosing and be buried next to her? Or how about cremation, where I divide up my ashes between the two grave sites?
Well, sir, you know what's great? When you die, you don't care anymore. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not a decision you have to make, because you won't be making the decision when the time comes. So you just tell everybody whatever is fine. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
It just doesn't matter.
That's pretty good.
You're not going to care.
But also, like, whatever you want, sir. What do you want to do?
He thinks there's some right way to go here.
There's no right way to go.
He's not exactly wrong. People get married and remarried, and you get into tricky situations.
Sure.
But Zuckerman, you're right.
And the truth is that the cemetery is an obligation nobody wants to go to. Do you want to go to the cemetery to visit your dad? I visited my dad once, maybe, but that's only because we were burying someone else.
In the same spot?
Yeah, more or less.
On top.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Every time I ask Jay Leno about something after his demise someday, he goes, "Not my problem."
Yeah.
That's his boilerplate.
Very wise. Yeah. Very wise. All right. Letter number 2. Dear Zuckerman. My friend invites me for dinner often, and I keep coming up with vague excuses about why I cannot come. The reason for my reluctance is her poor kitchen hygiene. The fridge always has old food and spillage, and her kitchen counters and sink are littered with dirty dishes and leftovers. She also doesn't wash her hands before cooking. Zuckerman, how would you proceed?
I would just say, there's no way I'm eating at your place. Have you looked around? You're gross. We can't eat there. This isn't appetizing.
It's a fucking dump.
Yeah, it's a dump. Just tell her the truth. If she doesn't know it, if the homeowner doesn't know it, she's not blind.
The homeowner is going to be like the lady in the logo right now.
Tell her I'll eat there if I can help you clean the place up, and we order in.
That's solid advice.
Yeah.
That is nothing else.
This is an easy one.
Okay, dear Zuckerman, my husband puts everyone first before me. An example. We were invited to his Aunt Diana's 50th wedding anniversary, and at the last minute, my husband was asked to sit at the head of the table with his aunt and her husband. I was not invited to do that, and my husband didn't ask if I could sit with them. The room was full, and there was no other seats for me, so the event coordinator set up a table for me in the hall by the bathrooms. The only time I saw anyone was when they used the toilet. My husband came to use the toilet and asked me if I wanted anything. I told him I'd let...
I can bring something to you.
Thirsty? Hungry?
I told him I would like a drink, but he never came back. How do I get him to put me first?
Okay. Your lady, your question should be, how do I get him not to put me last? You're not anything. You're not on any list. And obviously no one likes you. No one likes you.
Cut to the logo.
And you need to escape all of these people before it's too late.
Can you be imagined that sitting at a little card table by the toilet?
That's so
while
great.
there's a party going on?
That really improved. That letter went from like pretty good to like an all-star.
Wow.
She sat by the bathroom.
She did.
Really, she should just be a doormat. She should have welcome printed on her back.
Oh my God, that's
Well,
fantastic.
she must have been hungry.
How much does the aunt or whoever hate her to put her in the hall? Could you imagine?
By the bathrooms. And
By
she just
herself.
She should have just held up her fingers, one or two,
so
taking
good.
a poll.
Yeah, put a little tip cup out there.
Yeah.
And hand mints out to everybody.
A comb?
All right, we have another letter.
Come back with a drink. He never came back.
We're on a good run, and you're doing pretty well.
Thank you.
You've only made the person cry all 4 times. Dear Zuckerman, I have been married for 52 years.
Oh, boy. That's not natural.
While looking for a tax document, I found a manila envelope that had a note written on the outside. It said, if something happens to me, please destroy this. I opened the envelope and found nude pictures of my husband and another woman taken years ago. When I confronted my husband, he said it was my fault for opening the envelope.
Yes.
I never received an apology, and I no longer want to be intimate with him. She doesn't want to have sex with him anymore.
52
I need
years.
advice on how to get past this.
Oh, well. Arsenic. I mean, so
She goes rooting through her husband's stuff. She finds a manila envelope. On the envelope, it says, do not open unless I'm dead. And she opens it.
It actually says if I'm dead, just destroy it.
Well,
And it's new. Yeah, that's true. Doesn't even open it up. So, and it's pictures with him and some woman from decades ago.
and what we don't know.
What is he saving this for, by the way?
Exactly.
Why is it sealed?
So the question is, was it pre-marriage? I doubt it. It was something, that's if the pictures were pre-marriage, it's a little better. But still, what is he saving it for? He's a dick for saving it. And who does he expect to come along and destroy this?
And who took these photos?
And where is she? And where,
Yeah, who took the photos? That's the bigger question.
Because if it's a film camera, there's a lot involved there. you know?
Maybe there's a photo of him like running back to the position.
pressing the button.
He pressed the 3. Maybe those were in there.
I don't think she should get over it. And I'm surprised at her age, there's still,
It is. Look, if they were pictures that he was using, like if he enjoyed these pictures for his own self-pleasure, but the sealed nature of them is weird. Like the
whole thing's
storage of them is weird.
Why not just destroy them, sir? Like
Yeah.
he wanted to get caught, obviously.
obviously.
Right?
Yeah, I opened the manila envelope.
She probably found them 30 years too late.
And they're with
what
his
he's mad
they're
about.
with his tax documents.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? He probably knew she's a busybody and that she's going to find these. But when he was 30 years younger and he could get out of the marriage, and he was a cowardly way out.
Lady, I'm assuming there's very little time left. Why waste it thinking about this?
Yeah, and look, she says she's been married for 52 years. So now she's in her 70s at least.
Easy, if not 80s.
80s, right? I no longer want to be intimate with him.
Okay.
That ship sailed.
Sounds like,
I mean, come on.
There's been 52 years.
boy,
of
he's
that.
a randy old goat, huh?
Yeah, what is he doing?
He opens up his envelope. I remember that day in 1970.
Yeah.
Coming back from the Peace March.
Wow.
Burned my draft card.
I'd look for other envelopes. It's weird that there would just be one
Yeah,
envelope.
maybe there are.
Right?
What's Grandpa doing in his study? Don't go in there. All I hear is envelopes rustling. Yeah. Don't go in there. Do not go in there.
He's doing his taxes.
It's July. I don't understand. Yeah, tax deadlines were put off to October. Just don't go in there.
He's submitting his return.
What is that air pump sound? Never mind. Your grandfather's 86. He's been in there for hours. What is that sound of an envelope getting torn open? That's just Grandpa enjoying himself.
Stuffing the envelope.
And we're not intimate anymore. You didn't need to say that, Grandma. Okay, our final letter. Dear Zuckerman. Wow, these are all sexual. My wife and I have not had sex for the last 4 years. And I'm not a perfect husband. I have made my share of mistakes.
Oh.
Not always telling the truth, texting other women.
These things happen.
And she has her share of imperfections as well. She has hit me on more than one occasion. She also pulled a gun on me and stole $1,400.
What?
And yet I find myself putting all of that aside and moving forward.
Oh, you're a real gem.
I do love my wife, but right now I'm at my breaking point. Do you have any advice?
Wait, what?
Wow, well, I got to say,
the gun?
This is someone who wrote into the New York Times from where? Where? What? I mean, what meth lab?
From writers.
Okay, you two are in a collision course where one person ends up dead. And not by natural causes. You need to move forward with someone else.
I love his usage of share of imperfections. She pulled a gun on me, she beat me, and she robbed me.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it sort of changed a lot with the robbing of your spouse.
Yeah, okay. One can only imagine, since he's ready to move on, he's given her a beating or two over the years.
Can you rob a spouse? I mean, technically?
It depends what state you're in, I think, and what the money is. But I'm not a criminal lawyer. And
these two have a lot of drama in their relationship.
Yeah, yes,
a lot of drama. They're hitting each other. They're stealing from each other. They're pulling guns on it. No,
it's just one way. He's just like flirting with
But he's at his breaking point. They need to. They need to break.
It's been
someone's going to die. Someone's going to get hurt.
Boy, they must be wild. There must be some wild Friday nights in that house.
But how can the problem be? We haven't had sex for 4 years. Shouldn't it be like she's not perfect either? We haven't had sex for 4 years. I'm at my breaking point because she beat me and robbed me with a gun.
There's a more basic problem. We are insane. The two of us are insane, and we do drugs and drink together.
Right.
And as a result of being insane and engaging in abuse of substances, we do things to each other.
Yes. The advice is
get sober.
They really need better help.
Yeah, they need better help.
They also need BlueChew because they're not having sex. Guess what? You want to have better sex? Have sex with BlueChew. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, BlueChew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks. Look at that. You'll have more towns with the amount of noise you'll be making. You'll have to move towns, with the amount of noise you're making. BlueChew Max has arrived. And it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable tablet. This combo acts fast and lasts.
Sweaty and ready. Let's get it on.
Get all bricked up. Guys, be ready when she needs it and get your first month of BlueChew free. BlueChew won't stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That is the mission. Wow, look at this. Lady. The new combo drug. This will solve all your problems. The last two letters, all of your problems will be solved by BlueChew. Make life easier by getting hard and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of BlueChew free when you use promo code SPIKE911. That's just $5 shipping. That's promo code SPIKE911. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. Let's see if I can hit the lens on this one. We've got questions to answer, and then we'll get out of here. Car questions, hopefully. Not BlueChew questions. Oh, I missed it. That was a little bit of a bad throw.
I like BlueChew Max. I like that.
You know, I occasionally will take a little melatonin to go to sleep if I've had too much coffee. And then found myself buying the stronger melatonins. Just what's the strongest melatonin I can get?
You know that melatonin takes 6 hours to work.
It does?
So
the psychosomatic reaction is instantaneous.
Except that when then you wake up 8 hours later, it's putting you to sleep. Yeah. So everyone takes melatonin. I was doing this. I was like killing myself. I was like,
so you got to take it at dinner time.
I take it like at 6.
Right. Okay.
Because I was going to bed at midnight, popping a melatonin, waking up at 6.
So just when it was kicking.
And I'm like, I had a newborn baby, and it was just, it was a mess. But yeah, it takes like 6 hours to like actually do its thing.
Matt Jelanek, our friend from Australia, photographer. Forgive me if I pronounce your last name wrong. When are you test driving the Nissan Z, Spike? I haven't. Are you, Johnny?
There's the new Nismo version.
The 400 horsepower rear-wheel drive version.
They've been 400 horsepower for a while, but the Nismo, I don't know if it has any power, but it's like a handling package. And there was one that Nissan brought to the car show I did, the Holmes Bakery show. Look good. I haven't touched it yet, so I would like to. I gotta be good. Yeah, let's get one. We'll get one.
Cyrus D. Habhar. He's a journalist, I think, in Dubai. Best pre-1975 classic car that's really cool, under $20K.
Toyota Century, 69 Century.
That's a tough question.
That's the best?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I think there are a lot of cars that are. I mean, like I said earlier, the classic car market, the older cars are coming down in value.
Somebody offered me a Studebaker Avanti for like $5,000 yesterday.
Oh no!
Yeah,
kind of cool car.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Worth about $5,000.
Yeah.
Trying to remember who has a couple of those. I used to see those driving around Hollywood back in the day, but it's ugly.
You can get a 914. Those are
120.
Yeah.
You could probably get. I wonder if you could get like a 74 Vet.
In a couple of years, you can get a Bentley.
Yes,
you can get a Bentley. You can get a Rolls Royce.
We have to move forward with our demo derby car.
Yeah. Has he called you?
No. Put us in touch.
I'll reach out to him. We'll figure it out.
There's a lot of. I guess he's asking what's the coolest.
The coolest. Where would we go right
El Camino.
now?
El Camino's very
El Camino
cool.
would be amazing.
Yeah,
like a '69 El Camino.
Yeah, I'd be looking there.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cougars. I like old Mustangs. I'd be
even
looking
a
at
Nova
that.
could
I'd like
be
a
cool.
Volkswagen Beetles.
Cougar.
I always say
Cougar is a good. That's very very cool.
What did that 944 cost?
That costs slightly over 30.
Yeah, but that's not pre-75.
Is that what he said?
80s,
okay.
Yeah. Cougar's a solid answer.
Yeah. LPW the third. If you were to buy a $5,000 car with its sole purpose being looking cool and smoking cigars, in which car would it be?
Some junky old Cadillac.
Go by volume.
Lincoln.
Just go by the bigger the
Chrysler,
better.
You know what I saw?
Chrysler.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Chrysler. Got to be a Chrysler.
I don't think I saw a green Ford Torino.
Yes.
And
that green.
All of my friends we all had these types of cars growing up, and I suddenly, it's so awkward and horrible looking. The wheels are tiny and there's tons of metal. But I remember,
good times
listening to Led Zeppelin in it on cassettes and just being so happy with my friends that I thought it might be time to do something dumb like that.
Really big sedans where you can get 8 people in them, like 4 across. There is something we've lost by not having those. Because I remember with this amazing New Year's one time, we drove from Malibu to like downtown, and it was like 4 guys and 4 girls, and we had a 61 Buick LeSabre, and it was like the best time. Like you can't do that in modern cars. Trust me, you would have been very happy.
Yes.
Okay, Benjamin Ernesto Guzman. Wow, 3 names. I saw him in the Sicario movie I was watching last night.
That's right.
He was the drug dealer they were trying to assassinate. He wants to know what's the motorcycle equivalent of a 911. Well, I like Ducatis and BMWs, and I think I like them because they remind me of Ferraris and Porsches.
There you go.
I think it's that simple. That's just me. No motorcycle.
No comments. Sneeze again.
Any modifications to the Bronco? No, I have a lot of switches I could put things on. I do want an LED light of some kind that I can flash at people to help me annoy people in traffic.
Melt their eyes.
I'm trying to think if there's anything custom. I don't think there is. The Bronco still every day makes me really happy. I was out there. I gave it the horse bath yesterday. Washed it myself. Enjoyed every moment of it. Driving it to tennis. Loading it up with gear. I just love that thing. But I would modify it if anybody has some good ideas.
Tires. Get some.
They're already giant. They're already nice.
Just get like better off-road tires.
Better than what they came with?
Yeah, get like a Toyo Open Country 3. Those are killer tires. And they look tougher too. They're just tougher.
Toyo.
What's nice about it is they already have 35-inch tires on it right now. Yeah. And they kind of, you bounce down the road. You don't ever want to get sideways.
Deflate them a little bit.
They're really, it's a nice bounce, bouncing around. Chris Brent, would the three of you ever consider doing a YouTube TV series similar to Top Gear specials? I'd watch it. Isn't that
the money?
Isn't that what this is?
Yeah.
I think we'd be in the cars and driving. Yeah.
I think we've said before, Chris Brent, if we had the right idea, and it didn't feel derivative, it feels like every version of Top Gear has been done at this point.
Right.
Including the last 3 failed versions. And ideas have been all used up. I don't know. I tend not to think that, but with the internet and everybody writing jokes and writing ideas and YouTube channels, a lot of stuff has been done. So again, it's always idea first for us. Bruce B wants to know, where is the Porsche 3row SUV? Is that happening?
Yes. You'll probably see it end of 26, production 27, but it'll be, I think the Cayenne comes first, the electric Cayenne, and then they'll show the 3-row, but it's definitely happening. Like that's very important for that brand. Okay, if you guys could have one car from your birth year, what would it be? P-Car Photos, 64 911. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. That would be it. I might go with a 64 Mustang.
Yeah.
75, 14, 6. If they still made a 6.
They weren't made in 75.
They were only 70? When was the 6 made?
70, 71, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just 70. Like, I think it
might have just been 70. Yeah, the race cars. 75 is a tough year. 75 911's good. 75 Ferrari, I guess like a Daytona.
75, you get super early turbo.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. What's it? 75 Countach. Forget it. 75 Countach.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, 75 Countach.
Can we please, Joseph Burrows wants to know, can we please have a Zuckerman real insurance story? Do you have one? We hate to just put you on the spot, but do you have a real insurance story?
I've got 100 of them.
Okay, go ahead. Give us one.
I had a client whose adult son, who was on the spectrum, was a passenger.
Yes.
I didn't represent the son, but the other side wanted to take the son's deposition because he was a witness. And I said, he's nonverbal. He just does karate moves. He doesn't communicate. He does karate moves, and he's nonverbal. Well, counsel, I'll be the judge of that. I said, I said, people on the spectrum, they can become agitated. And this guy is big and he does karate moves.
And you felt like you wanted to protect him.
And I said, I also, I just didn't want to do it anyway. I'm not cooperative. And
but
so
secretly you did want to see some karate.
Well, I said to the attorney, I said, I understand when he gets agitated, he might, self-harm a little, banging his head on the wall. And the defense counsel said, well, I don't know if that's my problem. I said, well, maybe when he's done banging his head on the wall, he'll bang your head on the wall.
Or he'll think you're the wall, yeah.
And then the next day he called and said, we'd like to settle this case.
You're a street fighter. I've seen some of your emails.
Oh, yes.
They're frequently Street Fighter emails.
Oh,
They're
yes,
not legally, carefully written, carefully worded statements. They're like, how about? They start like this. How about you settle?
Anyways,
how about I run you down with the garbage truck?
Yeah. I had a client once.
There they are.
I did have a client once. He's sitting in the conference room. He's got earphones on and he's kind of bopping to the music. How you doing? He goes, you play really good music in here. And I said, would you like me to turn it up? And he goes, yeah. I said, I'll be right back. And then I came back. I said, is that the right volume? And he's got his earphones on. He goes, that was really good. And later, during his deposition, he was making little gunshots at defense counsel, which defense counsel said, can you get him to do that? I stopped doing that. I said, doing what? I don't see anything. It's not bothering me.
I mean, I've been in a deposition or two. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, no, you can do it. It's like a little wing kind of a thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Porsche 3 Ben, can you guys reboot Top Gear USA? Come on. Why? What's it with all the Top Gear talk?
Well, people want car TV. They want that.
Oh, we have Spike's Car Radio. We can do
No, but they want
with
like
that.
road trips.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
We can do anything.
Let's go to
we got
Rhode
Cameron.
Island.
We've got cameras.
Rhode Island.
Let's go to Rhode Island.
Why? For Longisa?
What?
Great idea. We'll go to Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, right. Yes. Correct.
Yes.
The first episode of our Top Gear show is going to be at the Audrain Concours.
Yes.
And one at Pebble Beach, too. Got to do that one.
That's coming up.
Let's just do one. Ross Blevin. Can we get a show with the Hungarian, or is he too shadowy of a figure? That's a good question. Like, the Hungarian, if you don't know, is Zuckerman's fixer. He's a BMW guy. He gets things done that maybe, let's say, aren't supposed to be done. And we don't ask questions. But he is a BMW enthusiast.
And a Porsche enthusiast.
And a Porsche enthusiast.
General Motor head, and he loves to put an LS6 in anything he possibly can.
May I just ask, has he ever been incarcerated?
In this country, no.
Is that a joke or for real?
In this country, no.
Okay. Well, then maybe he's okay. Maybe.
But I like that he's a shadowy figure.
I do.
But
well, maybe we have him like behind a black curtain.
Yes,
or something.
and with his voice.
I think he has that naturally.
Yeah.
And then he would be able to tell the real stories.
Also, real quick, prison that stopped us from ever having a guest on?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No.
How is Radamax? Should we look him up?
Did you see that? You saw that thing I sent?
Yeah.
You remember that guy living in the motel who's raising hell? I think that's Radamax. He's been beating on everybody. He's been smashing windows and doing it. I don't think he's changed at all.
Yeah.
I did notice this. Niche Motors in Tennessee, who's a longtime listener there, used to live here in California, sold us those plates, by the way, that Hungarian is still trying to get. He successfully put them on one of your other cars, and now we're trying to get them on the Zagato. I don't know why we just don't attach them at this point to the Zagato.
We should.
Yeah.
But Niche Motors has the very first 356A VIN 001 for sale. 001.
Is that the one that's kind of beat up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that car. I do know Jerry has the last 356, and I remember he found that half buried in a farmer's field and restored that and brought that back.
Morris Solomons could solve this problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
Could totally solve if that's got value.
It's but those
but I don't know what the
356A have value.
Oh, the first A, I'm sorry.
Well, if it's VIN number 001, that's attractive.
Yeah.
But 356s in general are down.
Yeah.
All the guys who like them.
I think it's really cool. Just looking at the picture, it looks like a big project. Do I have time for another big project, Ferguson, before I have to decide where I'm going to be buried after
where we split your ashes? I want some. Johnny wants some.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants some.
In the trash.
Huh?
Just struck me in the dumpster somewhere.
We could auction your ashes off for a good cause. How about?
Can we snort rails of your ashes?
Do whatever you want. I won't.
I read a story about that. There was a story this week about some kid who got into the grandmother's ashes and ate them.
Oh, he has an iron deficiency.
No, just some toddler at the parents'
Phenomenal.
ashes. That's a good story.
That's really good.
I think if we've learned one thing in this episode, Zuckerman, and I keep continuing to be reminded of it, and I've already forgotten about it, is this Morris Solomon. The possibilities are endless right now.
Endless.
We see these cars can come up. We can actually do something about it. We just need a war chest.
Yeah, 50 million, 100 million.
We'd settle with 20. Buying and selling, spending.
Most hedge funds would find 20 million too small. They want to
But
fund
it's not even the
50 to
hedge
100.
funds. Somebody out there is going to have some money to play with and want us to do this. Because we've seen the idiots who have backing like this, right?
Well, the truth is that we know
There's
what
some
the
real
right
idiots.
cars are, and
Yes.
we know how to get them done
That's
right.
exactly right. And we have access.
I was about
Access.
to say I've seen a lot of things like this where they just all go. They're like, ooh, it's a Chevy S10 with less than 7,000 miles. Gotta have it. And it's like,
Nope.
no,
It's not a market.
No.
Yeah, hey, how about this coming from our friend's collection that's not even for sale, and now we have it.
Right. And, Ferriston, since you encouraged me to buy the yellow E39, I'm getting a lot of very low mileage cars being offered to me from all over the world.
Can you
Tasty
name
little
one? Can you
bits.
name one?
I don't want to name anything right now, but
That's a good business.
but
That's
there
our
are-
business.
but
That's our aesthetic is
there
low
was
mileage originals.
Okay, there was a 997.2 GT3 3.8 that had something like 60 miles on it. I mean, that's That's a tasty
dude,
bit.
997.2 GT3s are.
Yeah, tasty.
The only thing better is the RS and the 4.0. But
Yeah, so there's stuff like that coming my way.
Well, now we have a little bit of something that we didn't have before.
That's right.
Low mileage original cars. That's what we love anyways.
Purveyor of
That's
fine
purveyor of fine
automobiles.
I love it. That's our show, everybody.
There you go.
This is Paul Zuckerman.
Thank
this
you.
This is Jonny Lieberman.
Thank you.
I am Spike First.
No, you're not.
And we'll see you next week.